All right. Mm-hmm. So Divan, you said which part of the tuning it belongs to from top to bottom? Or you say
Um,
application?
yeah, no, actually, I'll take that back. I would think database.
Yeah, it should be database tuning
Yeah, database.
because it has something to do with the performance and
Yeah.
performance recommendation, how to solve, how to improve performance and stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Agree.
I was thinking about instance.
Instance. So what do you think is instance?
Because when we look at the definition, it says it runs automatically after each AWR snapshot.
Okay, no, I'm saying what do you think is instant tuning?
Because it's like we said, it's related to AWR, and I mean that's just my thinking. And since we know that AWR is belongs to an instance tuning.
At the last time I checked, I know instance tuning mostly have to do with the operating system, and I don't know.
I was thinking where the like where the statistic is coming from that is being analyzed is basically, as Bill was saying, is like is the database functionality and performance it analyzed. So I was
Yes.
thinking in that way.
So that means the AWR don't belong to the instance tuning, like, as we say earlier.
Did we?
Wait,
No, I
Bello,
didn't think we said it.
Bello, you just said that what was that you said that it belongs to instance tuning?
No, I didn't say instant tuning. I said database tuning.
Yeah,
Database
that's what I
tuning.
was thinking too. I
Yeah.
heard instance tuning.
Yeah. No, the other dude said he think is instant tuning. So we are
Okay,
still deliberating on it.
So okay, I think I'm wrong because ADDM it's related to performance, and then database. So it should be database. You're right.
I think they can belong to both instance and database.
Well,
See, I think he's correct. It should be instance tuning.
yeah, because it's related to AWR.
Yeah, and it has something to do with like performance and
Also, yes.
yeah.
So it should
I
be
have a
both,
question
then.
about ADDM.
Go ahead.
Does it recommend fixes or does it fix issues?
I think it recommends.
I think you do both.
Yeah, it do both because because the definition says it's an automatic process and it's a self-diagnostic engine, like an inbuilt engine in the Oracle database.
But from the name it says monitor.
Yes, a monitor. It of course examine that analyzes the report in the AWR.
Okay.
So I think it should do both. It's solve and probably recommend.
Right. And from the explanation of proof, I think we can put ADDM in the same category as AMM and ASMM, which are all automatic framework. So they gather statistics, they analyze, they diagnose, they advise, and they implement.
Okay.
All right. Anybody can take the next word. Explain and you know, mention which part of tuning it belongs to.
Just call name, give and call name.
Really?
Okay.
No.
No, I don't want to do that.
Okay, I'm going to explain index.
All right, please.
So an index is one of the many schema objects. I don't know if it's a schema object or it's a database object. So I'm still like turning between those two.
There is no difference. There is no difference between a schema object is just like it's owned by some schema. But they are all database objects, right? A table EMP, what is it? A schema object or a database object? It is a schema object if you want to talk in terms of who owns it, right? Scott.
Yeah.
And it's a database object because it exists and it has ownership in the database. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so there's no difference. We actually use those words interchangeably.
Okay.
Go ahead, Anita, continue.
Okay. So an index it's one of the many database objects that improves the performance of queries by allowing faster retrieval of data. And they are considered logical objects that represent subsets of data from one or more tables. Indexes can be automatically created or they can also be manually created. There are two types of index, bitmap and the B-tree indexes. The bitmap is usually recommended for tables that have unique keys, whereas the B-tree indexes are tables that don't have the unique keys.
I don't agree with these last two sentences. The B tree and the bitmap.
Why don't
you want to take it over again?
I mean, from the explanation last time, that's what I understood, that, you know, bitmap indexes are for like let's say less complex tables.
Low cardinality.
Low cardinality, yeah. So like tables that don't have unique keys, as in like for you, I think with example of the employees table. So the employees table that will have a B-tree index.
But you are mixing the two. Because you talk about bitmap, then you describe B-tree.
Okay, but I'm making sense. But I'm saying it correctly. I'm not saying it in order, but I think I'm saying it correctly.
But you are just describing giving a good description of a table and call it a chair.
All right. All right. So we have two types of indexes. The bitmap index, which is recommended for tables that have low cardinality.
Yes.
Whereas we also have the B-tree, which is recommended for tables that have more complex or more cardinalities, such as unique keys.
High cardinality tables, and the example is the unique key.
Yes.
Yes. Now you put it all in place.
And I will say indexes fall under application tuning.
I agree. I agree with that.
So I'm a little torn between database and instance tuning. I don't really understand the difference.
Okay.
So the operating system, that'll refer more to the database tuning, right?
No, operating system.
It should be instance.
Operating system?
No, operating system is operating system.
Yes, two different things.
It's a very different thing. Nothing to do.
Oh, really?
How is my top to bottom approach?
Network, server, application, database,
server in bracket.
Oh, OS.
Thank you.
Oh, operating system. Okay.
Operating system.
Yeah.
That's server tuning.
Oh,
So then what is database and instance tuning?
Database tuning, instance tuning. I don't want to end it. I don't want to start the class by the end. So at the end, we're supposed to lay out all of this. You see what I mean?
okay. So quick question.
Yes.
So we're a little bit tripping about the ADDM. Like where does it belong to? Among the top to bottom. So we're thinking maybe it's application tuning, but others is instance tuning.
Instance as well.
Both.
There you go.
Some can fall in both. That's why I have the chat. I can just give you the chart now and then all of us just go home. Should I do that?
Oh,
No.
You understand? We built the chart this morning. You understand what I mean? That is after describing all of them, then we start now aligning. Where do you go? Where do you go? Where do you go? And we're putting more, and people are giving more suggestions. Then we'll talk about it all.
okay.
So let's go back to that question at the end of the class. I'll bring up the chat at the end of the class.
Okay.
Okay, yes. So after describing each of it, then we know what it is or somewhat of what it is. Let's just go through. There are a few things that I want to touch. And after that, we'll go to and build our comprehensive top to bottom approach, and we'll try to align all of those words and even more. If you guys can come up with any more, we'll just put them where they're supposed to be. All right.
Professor, please, I have a question.
Sure, absolutely.
This is not really related, but I was just wondering, like, approximately, can you kind of give us like a rundown of what is left in the program? Like approximately how much longer is the program for?
Okay. Right now, we are starting performance tuning, which I think by all means should take, I'll say 3 weeks, a maximum of 3 weeks, a maximum of 4. Then after that is 12C, which should take a maximum of 2 weeks. So we can go maximum, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Then after that, we'll start our first project, which is data guard. That should take 1 week. But I'm going to tell you what it is in principle or in the book. Then if we are all comfortable after setting up data guard, the next week we're going to wipe out all your server screen, and then you'll do upgrades. Upgrades means that we'll give you a brand new server, and you're going to upgrade, you're going to install Oracle Database 10. Then you're going to upgrade 10 to 11, then you're going to upgrade 11 to 12. All right, and then databases that you create databases and use the upgrade assistant and upgrade through all. And then you do lots and lots of patching between those upgrades. That should take 1 week at most 2. The thing is with projects, we introduce projects and then you go and do it. So it all depends on how good the group works. If the teacher comes in and sees that 20% of the class has done it, guess what? The teacher cannot move forward. I cannot make them move forward. They are teachers, they are human beings. The next thing I'll do is, we're going to do after that is we're going to do Golden Gate. And after we finish Golden Gate, again, the same principle. We'll explain the theories, explain it to class, give you the instructions for you to go and do it. We'll work as a group, we'll finish it, then we'll go to rack. We'll give you the rack, we'll explain what rack is, you'll explain that. After that rack, we'll do the implementation. Then, so how many weeks are we on now? About
no, more than 4, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How long is Golden Gate?
all of them 1 a week.
Okay, so 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
We're doing 12 weeks.
Yes.
Okay, so we said 3 weeks for performance tuning.
Okay, then that will be 11.
Okay, 3 weeks of performance tuning, 1 week for 12C, right?
You said 2 weeks.
Yes, 1 or 2.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And then we get into the projects, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's another 4 weeks. All right. So, okay, let's give that, this is what I'm saying, that let's give it 10 weeks.
Okay.
Then you have finished projects. All right. At this point, when you finish projects, you can do, say 10 weeks, let's put 2 more weeks there. 12 weeks, you've done summaries. What is summary? That is how do I call it? A summary of everything that you've done from day one. We divide, there are about 17 to 18 different regions. So everybody will take, and then you come and do presentation. It's talking about today, you build what you're calling a OneNote. A OneNote is a summary, the summary that you're going to use across the street for your interviews, for your everything. Do you understand what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, they'll explain to you, they'll tell you what the OneNote is from everything. Then we're also doing in parallel, while we're doing projects, we'll do soft skills, which is your answer, and this is soft skills, what interview preparation. And then after that, the summary is actually interview preparation. You're preparing your notes to use across the street. If you go and if you want to take somebody else's notes, you'll be trying to read them. But if you make your own notes, you already know. So it is one of the highest learning curves doing those summaries. You summarize everything. When you are about to go across the street, we have optional things that I've told you that you are going to get, like PostgreSQL. All right? These are good because once you know more than one technology, you are better off. Do you understand? At the interviews, the resumes will have more than one technology. And so will those many calls come. Most environments, yes, they will have 60, 70% of their databases will be on Oracle. But guess what? They have some on SQL Server, they have some on Postgres, and so on and so forth. So you will have the opportunity to do SQL Server and Postgres. Those ones are 2-3 weeks. You've done it. Because you know Oracle, they're not going to teach you, they're not teaching you backup and recovery again. They're teaching you how to use that tool. You're just learning the tools. But the principles of, every principle of database administration, you already know. Am I making any sense?
Yes, sir.
All right, so that's how the program is. But let me explain something to you. That is what I recommend. But I also understand that some people may not want to follow the class and go all to this and so on. If you feel like at some point you want to, to move forward, after doing DB1 and DB2, so after your performance tuning and 12C, you have the right to demand your resume. You have finished the program, basically. I will sign that you are finished. I am adding from the projects to the 12C to the, I'm not charging you anything, but I'm giving you the courses because I know it's going to help you in your career. I will help you across in the interview room. It will help you in when you are working. Are we good?
Yes, yes, sir.
Yes, so I am throwing it out there. So you have, in fact, you have about a month or two to be finished with the program, but I'm going to throw things out there which I think will help you. They are optional. Am I making sense? They are optional, but you cannot take a resume and come back to class. Absolutely not. I don't want to destroy my class. If you take it, you know that you are finished, and we're going to say our goodbyes, and then we move forward. Are we good?
Yes, sir.
Anita, did I answer your question?
Yes. So in other words, this is through December, maybe. Are you closed? Is the office closed for the holidays? Like, do you have classes during the holidays or not?
What is the holiday?
The Christmas holiday, like Christmas season, November.
It's the class decides.
Okay.
Usually the class decides. For example, the Christmas period, if Christmas is on a Wednesday, they might say, let's do 2 classes this week, Monday and Friday. You understand what I mean? And we'll do that. So some people say, no, we want to, I've had classes with people, there are people here who don't want to wait this one day. And there are people here who also.
Those DB1, I mean morning class.
What happened?
So in those morning class, like they literally want to have classes every day.
Yeah. They know why they are here. They want to get out, finish and go.
Yeah, the sooner we finish this, the better.
Why? You are saturated?
Oh.
I mean,
So
it's been a year.
So
it seems like a year, but it's not been a year. How can it seem like a year?
Well, December, that's pretty much a year.
When did you start?
January.
Yes. So what I'm saying is that there is a way to send you out half-baked. I want you to understand that Oracle teaches DB1 for 1 week and DB2 for 1 week. But why are they asking us to teach you? Because they know they don't teach anything in that class. They simply introduce you to what that thing is. Mm-hmm. I know what it takes for you to succeed on the job. And I think that's what I told you that I wanted you to do. Our focus is not to get anything else other than a job.
A good one.
But if you want to go out and start trying, that's fine. I'm not saying that you will not succeed. I'm also just saying that I think you need more. That's why I'm giving you more.
Okay. All right, thank you.
The issue here is that people have been to school and did that and went to school for 4 years. And you left without a job. But now you can do something for 8, 9 months, 10 months. Okay, push it even to 1 year. Again, it all depends a lot on the class. And all of a sudden, this 1 year is too much. The thing is that we're looking at the finish line way more than we should. I will be putting all my focus on what I'm doing on the job every day. That's the way to look at it. If I don't do Golden Gate and I go to work and there is Golden Gate, what do I tell them? Are you mute yourself? Smile. How are you making too much noise? If you go to a job, and that's what we'll be asked in the interview. High availability is the biggest selling thing. Can I teach you high availability? Can I teach you rap without having to talk to how backup? It cannot work. When new technologies come, I just find myself forced to push it out there because I know the way it helps. But if you have not done rack or you do not know rack, I go to a rack environment, you will not last there for 1 week or 2. I think the focus here is to know that you are in a program and then you study the program and try to grasp the knowledge. And then you go out there and work. You can go and learn on the job, but you don't want it that way. We did it that way because we never had all of these amenities. So we had to go and learn on the job. But it was disaster. You see a boss coming in the hallway, you run. Because if he gives you an assignment, you don't know whether you can do it or not. Anyway, we said the advisor central. So like I said, you can branch out at any time if you like. Just let me know. I'll give you a resume, but you cannot attend class anymore.
Thank you. I just wanted an estimate. Thank you.
No problem. So the advisory framework, we saw SQL tuning advisor, SQL access advisor. What they can do help us with that SQL. All right. Memory advisor. You see the PGA advisor, the SG advisor. We'll play with it a little bit when we at some point later today. Buffer cache, shared pool, Java pool, stream pool advisor, and so on. So our space advisor, segment advisor. We talked about segment advisor advising us on space. Also, the undo advisor advising us on what? What is the undo advisor advising us on? Undo advisor. That's a question. Undo advisor, what does it advise us? When should we contact our undo advisor? Okay. What is undo information? You see, when you don't answer, I keep going backwards because I have to figure out where you are. If you do this continuously, ED2 is going to take you very frustratingly long time because you don't answer questions. All
The
right.
advisor determines the size of the undo table space.
Determines the size based on
The retention period.
Based on retention time and or more especially the undo generation rate, based on the rate that you are keeping undo. Note that you are going to undo advisor a lot of times. It will be when you want to use what? A fixed size table space, fixed size undo table space. What is the size of that fixed size? You must go to the undo advisor, which says based on you how much time you want to keep it, 2 days, 3 days, or whatever. This is XYZ amount of space that you're going to need. All right. Okay. So, advisors will provide you useful feedback about resource utilization and performance of respective server components. Memory target advisor will give you advice on how much memory that you're going to need. All right. By building on the data captured in the AWR and ADD, the ADDM enables the Oracle database to diagnose its own performance and determine how identified problems can be resolved. ADDM runs automatically after each AWR capture. Eventually call other advisors. Major benefits that are provided by the advisor will include all advisors use the same interface, like Enterprise Manager will use it for advisors of one line. They also use a common data source. So we know that they're all using our AWR statistics. Again, this slide does not have all advisors like your data recovery advisors not on there. Your ADDM is a server-based expert that reviews database performance every 60 minutes. Compares it with what? The previous 60 minutes. His goal is to set possible system bottlenecks, to detect possible system bottlenecks early enough and recommend fixes, all right, before the system performance degrades. All right, we have memory advisor. The memory advisor is actually a collection of several advisory functions. That will help determine the best setting for total memory that we're going to use by your instance. The system global area SG has a set of advisors for the shared pool, the buffer cache, the Java pool, streams pool. Java and streams pool advisors are not exposed in the Enterprise Manager advisor page. There's an advisor for the PGA, it's a PGA advisor. In addition to the advisory functions, the advisor provides a central point of control for the large pool and the Java pool. The large pool and the Java pool. All right, mean time to recover, MTTR advisor. All right. When you decrease your MTTR advisor or your MTTR, if you decrease the mean time to recover, what happens to the database? What are you asking of the database? Once you have decreased, what are you asking your database? Or what will happen in your database? Or what will be the effect of you decreasing the mean time to recover?
You slow down recovery.
No, what's happening to the database? You do that in terms, it doesn't slow down. What happens to your database when you decrease the mean time to recover? if your MTTR was 60 seconds and you make it 45 seconds, what is going to happen? How is the database going to react to that change?
And recover faster?
No, that is the consequence. That's the consequence. I mean, what are you asking your database to do? I want you to reduce your MTTR, mean time to recover, from 60 seconds. I've now brought it down to 30 seconds. What are you asking your database to do?
Crash.
To recover faster.
Crash.
Crash? What is crash? You have reduced your MTTR target. The value was 60 seconds. You brought it to 30 seconds. What will happen? What will your database, how will your database respond to that?
The database will be slow.
Does this have to do with the backups or no?
With the what?
With the backups?
No.
No, okay. So can you say
Reducing the
that everything
downtime.
will be recovered?
That is the consequence.
What about the downtime?
There is no downtime. You have asked, you have changed the parameter for MTTR from 60 seconds to 30 seconds. How will your database start reacting to that change?
It's going to reduce return time performance.
What are you doing in essence when you are reducing your mean time to recover? What are you asking your database to do? Something would have to happen more for our recovery time to be less.
Would it use up more resources?
I don't even understand what that means. You have asked recovery time to be small. Database says, yes, I'm going to make it small, but I'll have to do this. Somebody's got to give.
By losing data.
What? I didn't get that.
The losing data.
Losing data.
Does it have to do with the data recovery?
No, it has everything to do with asking your database to take more frequent checkpoints.
Oh, checkpoints.
Oh.
All right.
Yes,
No,
sir.
I think we know how that mechanism works.
Mm-hmm.
In checkpointing, they ask the DB writer to take a checkpoint. So DB writer is going to write more. We'll have more frequent checkpoints for us to have what? Little recovery information.
Mm-hmm.
Recovery depends on checkpointing. All right. The segment advisor. The advisor looks for tables and indexes that consume more space than they require. The advisor checks for inefficient space consumption at the table space or schema level and produces scripts to reduce space consumption where possible. Those who saw our tables, table A and table B, we look at which one was not properly created. Table B was not, was something because it had too much free space. SQL Access Advisor will advise us on how to access the data. If you want to access through an index, you want to access through a partition, through a materialized view, etc. To make the data access easier, then let's use it. Advisor analyzes all SQL statements that are issued in a given period and suggests the creation of additional indexes or materialized views that will improve the performance. What about SQL Tuning Advisor? This advisor will analyze an individual SQL statement and makes recommendations for improving the performance of that SQL statement. Recommendations may include actions such as just rewrite the entire SQL statement itself. Somebody writes a piece of code, 1 page long, it does this. You look at it and you say, no, I don't like you joining these too many tables. I would rather you use this. I don't want you doing this. I don't want this loop here. And you can see it change that query from, 2 hours to 5 minutes. I've seen that a lot. If you hit the right mode, and that's performance tuning. Again, there is no environment that does not have performance issues. That's why knowing I'm talking about performance tuning is of prime importance. The SQL Tuning Advisor is not invoked directly. Instead, it is called from within other tools, such as the top SQL, top sessions, all right? High impact SQL statements. On new management advisor, we already talked about it, all right? Trying to avoid ORA 01555. Snapshot to all, want to keep or maintain your read consistency. Okay. Data recovery advisor, there's this guy a lot. All right. Who knows what data recovery advisor? Who has ever invoked data recovery advisor? How did you do it? Who has invoked data recovery advisor? How did you do it?
Using Alman.
Yes. What did you do? What was the what commands did you use?
I did list failure first.
Mm-hmm.
Advise list failure. Advanced failure, and then and repair.
Absolutely.
Repair failure, right?
Yeah, that's you using your data recovery advisor. SQL repair advisors. You run the SQL repair advisor after a SQL statement fails. A critical error that generates a problem in the automatic diagnostic repository. The advisor analyzes the statements and in many cases recommends a patch to repair the statement. If you implement the recommendation, the applied SQL patch circumvents failure by causing your query optimizer to choose an alternative execution plan. What is a patch? Someone asked me this morning. What is a patch?
A patch is a substitute or it's an alternative of SQL statement written by the developer.
Nope. What is a patch?
Maybe a different word to use in your SQL.
Mhm. What is a patch? Computer terminologies. Patch.
So it can be used. It's a software that can be used to repair or to diagnose. No, to repair unknown problem.
Okay. Patch. Well, a patch. What's a patch used for? We have patches. Patches are used for three main purposes: for enhancement of a product, for bug fixes of a product, and for security. Whenever you have your phone, you go in at some point, it says, we have an update or something of that sort, an update to maybe your operating system or your iOS or whatever it is. They are sending what is called a patch. When that patch is installed, it is for what? One, a bug fix, an enhancement, or for security purposes. All right? There are different ways of delivering patches. Sometimes Oracle will send patches out and with a tool called OPatch. And then you use that one to install your patches. You may even send it as an installation. How are patches created? When different users call help desk and report different issues, when they fix it, they keep that fix. When you call the next time and your symptoms is described like that other person's own, will just give you that fix. We can put patches together. Sometimes we'll have 50, 100 different fixes. And we can send it out and say, okay, you know what? People are now waiting for you to call me. Let everybody just download and install that patch. So it is a way of managing bug fixes or fixes to the software. Does that make sense? You can do a one-off patch where someone comes in, they have an issue, they fix, they give you the patch, you go. You can also put someone come in and say, no, we're going to just go and upgrade to a certain point. So all of these little things that we add on to inventory. So when you look at our inventory, it contains every patch that you have installed.
So it's just like an FAQ.
Like a what?
FAQ, like frequently asked questions.
It is not a question, it is a fix.
Okay.
That you install. For example, every so often your phone will tell you that you have something to install on it, right?
Right.
From the operating system or from the manufacturers of, yes, or those who own the service. So they will come and do that. It is a bug fix which you might have not just encountered that problem. Then maybe you will get it tomorrow. But if you have that patch already fixed, so sometimes patches will fix bugs, for the most part, will fix even before it becomes a problem to you. Because they have affected somebody else, they have reported it, and they have now gotten the fix for it. They will give that person its fix and call it a one-off patch. But they will keep all of these fixes, keep keeping them and adding them and building them. And at some point they'll say, by the end of this month, please, everybody should just download that. And guess what? They'll have less calls because everybody has, has downloaded that patch. So you manage your fixes and your changes that way. Does it make any sense?
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay, Enterprise Manager, Advisor Central. Give me a second. Hello? Hello? Yes. Yes, I'm in the office. I'm in the class, but are you upstairs already? Okay. So just 1 second. Let me see this person. Hi, folks.
Yes, sir.
All right. Sorry about that. You have to work and play at the same time. New people coming to register. All right. So we'll have Advisor Central page where you can see all your different advisors. Why is that thing crawling? Okay. Advisor Central. Okay. So here you see your advisors, ADDM, memory advisors, SQL advisors, undo management, MTTR advisors, performance analyzer, data recovery advisor, segment advisor, streams performance advisor. All right, and we'll see our ADDM reads here, storing what? In our AWR. So that's Advisor Central. We said it has the same interface and uses the same database, the same data source for the statistics that it uses. What does it use? Statistics to diagnose and eventually to advise. All right. Okay. On the Advisor Central, you can see a list of all of those different advisors. On the Checkers tab, you can see what we check for. This that was mostly for maintenance. Simply saying if you go in here, Checkers. I'm sure we took a quick peek at this one the last time. And we saw our different checkers, like well, what? Different integrity, database, data dictionary checkers, block integrity checkers. All right. Yes, slow. Mm-hmm. Why is it erroring out? People are killing their databases. I'll look for another one. So you see your DB structure integrity checks, transaction integrity, data block integrity, undo segment integrity, redo integrity, data dictionary or dictionary integrity. So we have some DBMS advisors here, pre-configured. All right. Optimizer statistic non-rows will always reflect the true row count of the table. True or false? True or false? False.
False.
Why?
Because the statistics only reflect, the statistics are only taken, I think, every hour. So it will not reflect like the current one.
The real time?
Yeah, the real-time statistics.
Okay, so it says statistics are taken every what?
They are taken every 24 hours.
I think this one take every 24
Every
hours.
24 hours.
Yes, 24 hours.
So they are not reflected of 12 midday.
Yeah.
Definitely we might have inserted or deleted. It is not the actual value.
Yeah.
It's prohibitive for us to, if we want to take real-time data, which means we have to run and analyze the table before every time. All right, we have something called automated maintenance tasks, which means that there are some jobs which we are going to be running. And these jobs will be taking care of our databases. For example, gathering optimizer statistics. Our gathering of optimizer statistics wanted to run that night. So we can schedule these jobs so they are running as our batch jobs. All right. So we can go to this crazy enterprise manager that's taking forever. Who has enterprise manager?
I do.
Your student what?
346.
Yeah, these people are playing with the databases like 346. Can the moderator just permanently block that man? I guess network is not, it's crazy. What's the database name?
Economy.
Huh?
Economic.
EOMO.
MIC.
Prof, network problem, you pay your bill already?
What?
Network problem, you pay your bill already?
How are you connected? Did you connect to your server?
Talking to me, Prof?
No. Ali is talking to me, so I'm asking him, how is he connecting?
Maybe this guy economy database is not open.
I mean, it should say that the thing is not open.
Because I just opened mine like about 30 seconds ago. It's open.
Which one?
My enterprise manager.
For which database?
For politics.
Right.
So just try to use mine.
Student what?
174.
$174.
Yep. Oh, or maybe I should log out.
No.
Okay.
It's 20 what? 26?
26.
Database called what?
Politics with S.
Right. So we talked about the first one, this one since we're going, Advisor Central. And we went to Checkers. Okay. So this is our DB structure, integrity checkers, block integrity, transaction integrity. Redo data dictionary help, undo, etc. And now we're looking for automated maintenance tasks. So there are a few tasks there which are automatic. All right. So these are the automated maintenance tasks. All right. They are enabled. Okay. So if we want to see them, we can try to actually go here and see their schedule. You see that? All of them are scheduled to run every night. We can decide to skip one day. Oops, no. All right. And it will do every other. Some people do like that, or do that every other, and then follow it again, and so on and so forth. All right. When you are gathering optimizer statistics, you have the option to gather to adjust certain things, right? When you are gathering optimizer statistics, you have the option to do certain things. All right. What is that you do? We call them, what do we call them? You make certain adjustments while you are gathering the optimizer statistics. What do we call them? What do we call those adjustments? Which determine how the job will run.
Preferences.
All right. So you can go here. This is where you go and set your preferences. All right. So you come in here and you set it. You can do the retention period, 31 days by default. You can do your, what is it? Parallelism. You can do it. Estimate percentage. Cost of validation, cascade, all of this still percentage. You see, 10%. Incremental, you want to publish, etc. So you can set it, or we can configure. You can actually disable it. If you disable, if you disable these jobs and enable the jobs, and then you can come in here and set and select your days. That's one. But I want everybody, when you do it, go back and enable this job. You can actually enable it at the time of database creation, or you can come back here, but I need it enabled, so it's running every night. You can add more jobs as you want to. Are you following?
Yes, sir.
All right, you can choose your days that you want it to work for you. Okay. So that's very clear what is explaining here. So we have this, we have a maintenance window. Nightly, the maintenance window works from when? From 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. On the weekend, it starts from 6 a.m. That's about 20 hours. So you're good. So everything here, like it says, is customizable. You can change the times and so on. These are just Oracle suggestions. All right. Okay. So statistics, refresh them during your maintenance window. You may have certain times when, you know, it gets bad and you have to do what? You have to manually refresh it. All right. So no biggie. Go ahead and manually refresh it. Make sure that it will not interfere or interrupt production. This is our maintenance job that we've been talking about. That's the scheduling configure to add or change preferences or go with Oracle's default preferences. Okay. Alerts. You know the kind of alerts that we have, right? What are metric-based alerts? All right. Server-generated alerts. Like what? In table space, you go and set a metric, go and set a threshold. So once you're 75% giving, you all remember that assignment, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So you went out there, you look at the space, giving it, choose your percentage, set a metric, and then violate that metric by creating an object in there to bypass the 8 megabytes. And guess what? The alert pops up. Okay. What are some of these alerts you can set? Broken job count. What is broken job count? What's a broken job count to set as an alert? So you can say, hey, the job did not run.
Like you taking a backup or export?
And what happens?
Maybe like if you're taking a database export and the export fails,
Mm-hmm.
you want to set an alert for it to notify you that the job didn't go.
Well, I would say you are thinking rightly, but I would say if you give the export job, you give it job number 1, right? The backup job number 2, this job, the statistic job number 3, number 4. Broken job count means I just want to hit job 1 success, job 2 success, job 4 success. Where's 3? You understand?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
The count is broken, and something is not right, and then you've got to go back and troubleshoot.
Prof, I have a question. So
Yes.
let's say if your cron tab fails too, that you get, if you configure this, the broken job count, it's going to tell you, right?
Yes, you must have to register it as a job on it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes, you must register it that I have this job. Because cron tab, you've already sent it to the operating system.
Mm-hmm.
You must send it to the, so cron tab is working with the operating system.
Okay.
Yes. So but if you let cron tab job be known in the database as a database job, it will give you a broken job count if it fails. It's just any job fails. The database time spent waiting. We know that every time that we run a SQL, we have to keep meta information about that SQL. We have to keep data about that SQL. What does that mean? It means that we have to talk about how long did this job take to run the first time. So right now it's not running, and what am I doing? I'm comparing it with the time that it ran successfully. So I have a time in my head that I'm saying this is my expectation. If it goes more than that, you start seeing the percentage starts increasing. All right, maybe it's time to have a talk. Dump area size used. When every computer gets into panic mode, it starts dumping areas called core dump. And when you start dumping that file, things start growing, that location starts growing, give me a notification. SQL response time compared to a baseline, like we said, we know what it is when it's perfect. When it's not so perfect, please let us know. Table space use, I've seen that one before, all right? Other generic incidents, so you can make yours, and we'll follow it. All right.
Wait, what was the last thing you said? That you can make up.
You can create your own.
Okay.
Yes, anything that makes sense to create it and say, I want to monitor this.
Okay.
Some people may monitor password expiration. If it's any password expiration is less than 7 days, right? Send me a notification. which means I want to know the password which are about to expire. If it is an administrative password, you absolutely want to make sure that you change it before the application goes down.
So,
Right? Yes.
okay, like in the case where you're using the export and you're using the option of no hop, would it still gonna alert you that it failed?
What is no hop?
Like it's running in the background.
Yes. Whether the job passes or succeeds or fails does not matter where it runs. Right?
Okay.
If it fails, it has failed, it should notify you. Because it failed, even though it was not running on the screen in front of you, it was working. Right?
Right.
Yes, so as long as we register it, we have something called DBMS jobs. So when that job count breaks, you want to know. We good?
Yes, sir.
Right, any questions? Okay. Again, you've gone out here and set threshold before on that matrix, and it actually caused an alert. So when an alert is there, there's someone responding to alerts. So alert notification means send me the alert. You know, like we said, we don't have our POP server name, but you can send it to you in an email if you know the email server, or can send it to you in a text, or you can go just look at it in Enterprise Manager where it will pop up. If you have to send it, you can make it very fancy and send you some details about the job. All right. Okay, how do you react to alerts? Depending on the type of alert, some alerts, once you fix the problem, the alert disappears. Others, you actually have to go and acknowledge the alert, and then you put in your notes on how you fixed it before we move forward. Are we good? Are we?
Yes, sir.
Yes, so some alerts, we are going to acknowledge it. Some alerts, like table space, you just add the space, and your alert is gone. You're good to go. So we have what we call stateless and stateful alerts. So most alerts will be cleared automatically when the cause of the problem disappears. However, other alerts, such as generic alerts, they are sent to you for notification and probably acknowledgement by you. After taking the necessary corrective measures, you acknowledge an alert by clearing or purging the alert. So you can clear the alert. Clearing an alert sends the alert to the alert history, which is viewable from the home page, from your related links. All right? You can purge an alert, which means take it out of the alert history, take it out of the database completely. You will not see it anymore. Okay, so these are our alerts. Threshold or metric based, or non-threshold or event based, like our other 101555 non-threshold alerts. And our threshold or stateful alerts, like table space usage. That's the example of the assignment that we had. Okay, most server-generated alerts are configured by setting a warning and a critical threshold values in your database metrics. You can define thresholds of more than 120 different matrices, like for physical rates, for user commits, for SQL service response time. All right? So you can clear them, they'll go to alert history, or they'll go to video outstanding alerts. Well, that's clearing these alerts. I want us to look at something else. Stateless alerts such as snapshot too old can be found in your DBA outstanding alerts. Will they be found there? No. They are moved into the alert history. Table. All right, so the next thing I want us to talk about is I want us to talk about AMM and ASMM. Does that make sense? Can we come back in 10 minutes, maybe?
Yes, sir.
All right. So let's get back in 10 minutes and let's talk about, let's wrap up the class with AMM and ASMM. Again, just to joggle your minds to refresh this thing from All right. All right, so here we're talking about AMM and ASMM. All right. So what is ASM and what is ASMM?
AMM it's automatic. It means automatic memory management. It allocates memory to both the SGA and the PGA. Also, it is used for to optimize performance as the workload changes.
So someone says you should describe AMM and ASMM. Okay, someone wants to try ASMM or describe AMM, describe ASMM.
So let me try.
As long as there's not making too much noise in your background, because that thing is pissing me off.
I don't know what's happening. I'm alone.
And all that noise is coming from your back end.
No.
It is. But the need to stops. Talk if you will not make noise. After that, you mute yourself immediately.
Okay. So AMM is automatic memory management. It's a feature that allow you to allocate chunks of memory in Oracle. Chunks of memory which Oracle uses to allocate memory to SGA and PGA, and it mostly can be supported with Linux platform or Windows. While ASMM, automatic shared memory management, it adjusts the sizes of SGA component automatically as workload changes.
Do you think it is important to list these memory structures that are affected by ASMM? Not all are affected by ASMM.
I know.
Buffer cache is affected. Share pool is affected.
Like basically,
I want a comprehensive answer. A comprehensive. Don't give an answer, a real answer. Someone asks you in an interview, you just give him bits and pieces here, and then they are confused whether you know it or don't know it. I gave you these things for more than a week now. I've given you these things for more than a week, and you not just even prepare it, or I'm not even sure what is going on. Okay. I'm forcing you. Okay. I can go to okay, under server, go to memory advisors. Where I see that My AMM is there, available. Both of them are, well, this is disabled, right?
Correct.
So AMM is disabled, but ASMM is enabled. All right. I want you to, for now, which advisors, none of the advisors, no, it's only the PGA advisor that will be available because ASMM is, right, it's enabled. None of these memory structures are, except memory target. And to advise, all right, that's memory target advisor. You can increase, but it's only going to give you not performance increase. All right. So what I'll try to do now is I'll try to see if I can let me disable this so that more advisors will show up. So you want to see the shared pool advisor, the buffer cache advisor. But if you enable it, there's no need for the advisor because it's managing for you manually. So let me log out. And then come back in as this so I can change that thing. And disable memory management. Okay, server. All right. So this is our ASMM is disabled. AMM is disabled. So if I disable that, gives me that those are readings for now, capture them. And if I say okay, it disables automatic shared memory management. But it's still okay. Not really 9 o'clock. Let's go right quick. Okay. Well, this thing just crashed on us. See, change this thing. Change in 2 seconds. What's this? Mhm. Okay, apparently this thing don't want to show. Uh, okay. All right, so you see your SharePool advisor there, right?
Yes, sir.
So if you disable A, both of them are disabled. Both AMM and ASMM, now you have advisor for SharePool, advisor for buffer cache, etc. And then you have advisor for PGA. So if we enable both of them, we'll have just our memory target advisors available. Are we following?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next thing is what will happen if you specify a size. If you configure ASMM and you put a size in here, for example, shape, we put it 200. How will Oracle handle that situation? Do you follow that? If you configure ASMM and yet you put in a value for one of those memory structures, maybe large pool, shared pool, or buffer cache, how will Oracle handle the situation? Will it take your
It's going to use as a minimum value.
Say that again, I didn't get that.
I said the Oracle going to use that value as a minimum value.
I'm not sure if others are hearing you, if it's me, but you sound very far from your phone.
So I said Oracle is going to use that value as a minimum, so they can go above.
Anyway, 11.
Whatever talking about. But yes, it's going to be treated as a minimum value. So I want us here would be, and you can minimize upwards, but will not minimize downwards. Okay. Let's try to enable this. SGA. Okay, 29829. FGA 298. Total memory, data FGA says current. Okay. All right. We have our ASMM enabled. Then let's go get AMM enabled, automatic memory management. Note that we are logged in as root as this. All right, it says current maximum size, total memory size for automatic memory management. Current memory usage in QGA is 100. Total FGA size set to 0. Maximum memory size. 200, 300, right? So far. Total memory size for automatic memory management. So we must restart. Do you want to do that? Yes. Okay, to be able to restart, we need to get the Oracle user in there. Class 26, 6, 0, 1, that's CGVA. Are you sure you want to perform this operation? We should on immediate, yes. All right, so then we'll come back, we'll see when it's connected again. That's what we described here. AMM, ASMM. ASMM is a subset of AMM. Okay. These are our advisors here showing us when we had not enabled ASMM. Okay, shared memory advisor. And the things that it impacts. All right, you can query some of these views directly. Let me now show you what we're trying to map, and then we can take a look at it and see if they are still going down and up. Let's try to, yes. All right. So that's why I said the question you asked at the beginning of the class, we're going to try to map it. To ping the server, TNS ping, those are all network, making sure that machines can talk across the network. Other troubleshooting will be I cannot connect TNS names or listener down or SQL net issues. Server will have things like the top, telnet, check for disk space on the server, and many different other things. And other little commands, which I think I have somewhere here. And then we go to instance. Any of the parameters. A DB writer configuring multiple DB writers. Any memory issues, PGA, SGA, AMM, ASMM. Checkpointing, where does it take place? In memory. AWR, ADDM. Heat ratio, that's on memory. Hard pass counting on memory. Large or too small memory. Then application, optimizer statistics, database statistics, SQL access, indexes, right? Partition, materialized views, explain plan. AWR as well for application, the reads and the writes and the blah, 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 blah. Passing hints by developers, that's all applications, SQL. SQL tuning advisors, SQL access advisors, all those advisors that you use, they're all in SQL. SQL baseline, SQL profile, hash plan value, AWR baseline, those are all tuning terminologies associated with SQL. AWR baseline can also go for instance. All right, anything with AWR, but at least the baseline is the comparison. At some point, this application is working well. At this point, it's not working. So I can get AWR baseline. You see some of them are in multiple locations, like AWR. Anybody has anything with that, with this list? Does anybody have anything with the list to add or to move around, or what we don't know?
I don't know whether I can throw more light on the SQL baseline.
What do you have? What's your definition, or anybody's definition? Somebody give me a definition. Let me hear. I'm going to tell you why you're not getting it right, or why you're not understanding what you're understanding. You're not talking?
You said the definition of what, bro?
He said it. What did you say? Bello. He's not talking.
I'm sorry. I don't know, my network is kind of breaking.
No, they asked me what you said. You said we don't understand what?
The SQL baseline.
Okay, so I'm saying, who has anything that you got on that?
So can I try?
Sure.
It's a set of accepted plans that the optimizer allows to use for SQL statements.
A set of
accepted plans.
Like
a plan, baseline or something.
Set of execution plans that have been accepted for a particular SQL. Does that make sense? Right?
Yes, sir.
Yes. A particular SQL you can do plan A work, plan B work, plan C, plan D. Any of the four of these will work, and that's fine. So you can keep those ones and say you can use this. If this is not giving you the result, you have alternatives. Bottom line is we want our execution to be carried out. So we have plans that have been, this one costs this one costs this. You use an index here, you use a partition here, you use this, but these four will give you results in almost excellent time. Are we following?
Yes, sir.
That's a super baseline. It's sort of accepted. Which other one? Which other one? Which of those words?
Professor, so on the server, you have the top, and then what's the next one?
Server telnet.
Telnet, and
Telnet.
then the other one is DF minus H.
DF minus H, which is a space. Then IO and other things. I was not writing the commands in there. I was just saying processes and so on.
Okay.
There are many commands that you are going to be getting, which is going to give you, and then you test the commands and you see what you're looking for. So I just wanted to, this idea of this week, just like, can you just perceive, get a summary of performance tuning, what you have done so far. Do not bundle all of these things as one. Always look at things from the instance perspective or the application perspective or server, or it is to refresh what you have done. So I want to see how you guys will react to performance tuning. But if you go in there and they ask you anything and everybody is keeping quiet, just go back and start kicking on your target. That's how you spend 1 full year here. Totally dependent on you. Any questions? Any questions?
So you can ask yours.
I can what?
You can ask yours.
Ask my own questions. No, I'm done.
Actually, Prof, I don't remember. I think it was Wednesday when you were talking about, I think it was the ASH, and you talked about the top command. Would this be the same one as this one under the server?
Say that again. When I was
On Wednesday, I think you were talking about the active session history in the enterprise manager, and then I think we saw like a top command. So I wanted to know if it's the same as this one in the server.
No.
Okay.
We talk about top session, top sequels. Right?
Yeah.
It was top session and top sequel. If I'm saying the TOP command here is server, I will actually execute the top command on a server.
When you execute on the server, it shows the processes, right?
This is it. You have PIDs, which are owned by Oracle, which Oracle is running behind the scene. But on the server wise, this we're seeing Oracle owned, but everything that runs must have a process ID.
Okay.
Yes, everything that runs must have a process ID. So irrespective of, if it is you who's running by yourself, you must have a process ID. For example, look at this. That's the person's own name. All right.
Okay.
Then Oracle is running. All the background processes running. They must have a process ID on the server. That's how Oracle allocates processes, processing. Every server process, every background process, they all have server IDs or process IDs on the server.
And I think you said during the, is it instance tuning or server tuning that there's some things that you have to take into consideration here, like the CPU percentage. And then what else?
During what tuning?
That was
I think it was instance
if I'm talking
tuning.
CPU, I'm talking server.
Oh, server.
Okay. If I'm talking instance, I'm talking memory and background processes. I'm talking AMM and ASMM, checkpointing or hit ratio, or those are the things that take place in the instance.
Okay.
So,
So when you
okay.
issue the top command, that will just be for server tuning.
This is for the server. It's talking about I/O. So we're looking memory here, but it is memory is allocated by the server, right, to be used by the database. And database will know uses its memory through what? Instance.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? But who allocates that chunk of memory? Operating system. Who allocates processes? Operating system.
So I have one quick question. I wanted to find out if an increase in processes actually increased performance, and if it does, how does it influence or increase performance in the database?
Well, let me increase your number of processes. For example, I can give you 10 hands, 10 pens, right? Are you understanding?
Yes, sir.
But if you have only 2 hands, it's a waste. I'm saying that you cannot just increase the number of processes. Meanwhile, the processing is not the problem in that database. If the processors are the problem, means that they are not fast enough or they are not writing enough, then that is a problem. But you don't, I cannot give you something that you cannot use. For example, we have 150 processes. If you check down how many processes are running, you will not see 150. You understand what I mean?
Yes, sir.
So processes is not your problem. If you have a performance issue, you have 2 hands. I change the number of pens that you have from 2 to 10. Have I helped you?
No.
Thank you. So that's why I mean that increasing the thing that doesn't matter, it does not mean anything. That's why we come with this diagnostic, this issue. If your issue is memory, you can add the process from now till tomorrow. Ain't gonna fix jack. But if you run out of processes, you increase the number of processes, it will fix the problem.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
So basically, if there's an increase in the use of the database, that's when we're gonna. It's important to increase the processes.
Increase in what?
Like the amount of users.
Yes. In a dedicated environment, if the number of users keep increasing, you want give every server we have dedicated server processes, right?
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Every server process has a user process has a server process. So you're going to keep increasing that until it starts making sense for you to do that.
Okay.
The speed with which we read and write also matters. Input, output, I/O. All right. Any other questions? Any other question? I'm asking. Any other question? Yes, no, maybe?
So let me ask my one question, but the last one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm seeing the hash plan value.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually my first time I'm seeing that word.
Was it your classmate who put it there? Said, I want it there. I said, okay, so it's your opportunity. Google it now, see what it says. What have you seen?
I've not yet Googled it.
Good. Then you're asking, why are you taking things on yourself?
So Google does not give everything.
Good. I did not say give everything, but you will get something.
Okay.
At least it will give you the wrong thing. Yeah, you gain by knowing that the wrong thing is the wrong thing. Any other questions? All right. We shall start on Monday. Please go with open minds. All right.
All right.
Go with open mind to get knowledge. Please, the knowledge is more important than the money. Right, Anita?
Yes, sir.
We want to come and go and get money. We want money that when they come in, we say, well, you start saying, well, you want to have confidence. You go every day to work. You have confidence that you know what you know, because you're going to work there for the next 20, 30 years. But what I don't like is for you to go at work and start learning at work. It'll not be good. You're having 10 jobs before you finally balance. You will take a few months and get everything right. And then you go, you know that when you start your job, you are working now and just improving on what you already have. It's knowledge. You'll have it today or some other day. So we either do it the right way or we can hurry out and then cannot be tired. I'm not tired of knowledge. That's why I take the liberty to keep adding things. I say, anything that I have, I keep adding. I know it's for your benefit. You will thank me someday.
What about that AWS program? Are we still gonna do it?
Well, you're already complaining of this one, then you're asking me for more.
That was Anita.
No one was complaining. No, I just wanted clarification because when I registered, they said 6 months. So, I just wanted to know. I'm not complaining. I am happy that, I'm getting more time. And quite frankly, even after this, I was thinking of taking some more time to get ready myself. But I just wanted to know, so I can just make my schedule according to.
Yeah, I understand you. Understood.
So are you offering AWS?
Well, we try to. The issue why I am slowing down on AWS and not offering it to this class or maybe the next class, the classes ahead of you, is because they were overwhelmed. When you get to that level, you are overwhelmed. Do you understand what I mean? So I kind of reserve it for those who are already working.
Okay, I get it.
Because at some point, you don't want too much school. Get out there and start working. The thing is, AWS is not the kind of database. So it comes in with brand new concepts. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
And the fact that it comes with those new concepts, when you start teaching it to these people, they're like, oh my goodness, Prof, it made the class almost imploded. I mean.
So are we gonna pay extra?
Yes. I'm not going to give you. I just told you that, right?
I'm just fine. I'm just asking because
if I give you, you pay, or you want to pay, then I don't give it.
I'm doing my findings, sir.
Well, The worst thing that can happen to you is to go and start studying something else. You will be caught in the middle. Today they teach this, tomorrow they teach the next one, it removes the other one. I'm bringing start learning 2 new concepts. I've seen people go really astray, very, very bright people in the class, where they went out, they were taking an AWS class while we're doing Oracle class. And at some point, they emphasize certification over there. That's what they were doing now. Certified in AWS, certified in AWS, and they forgot Oracle project passed them by. Trust me, a lot of them are still in the middle because the AWS, they will promise. Who doesn't promise? But by the time they came back, their classmates were already going to work. They were already so ready and they are working. Some of them had to come back and join the next class to do projects. But that's time that's passing. And they won't tell you that. They'll tell you they have certification. Who doesn't? What is certification? Don't you go and steal answer and pass everything? So sometimes when you people come into a field, somebody brings you in there, listen to what they are saying. I'm not saying it like you have already chopped your money. So when I'm advising you to stay, it's not because I want your money again. You've already paid. What I'm asking you to do is to go and you go and pay 3-5 in that other school. Or something that just breaks this one. Yeah, Prof, I now regret it. Go and regret yourself. Take something, finish it, get into the field. While you are working as a DBA and so on and so forth, you want to add on your portfolio and learn AWS. Do you understand what I mean? But now you're adding on something that you already have. You cannot just go with an empty brain and then put Oracle there, then put Postgres. Postgres and SQL Server, there are types of databases. So it's just like learning how to drive another car. But if you are fixing a car and trying to fix a plane at the same time, you will get into trouble somewhere. I'm seeing many people fall into those traps. It's just regrettable, but hey, what are you going to do?
Take the door of the plane and put in the car.
Thank you. Then it will happen. And all of a sudden, you start driving your plane on the road in the beltway, right?
Sure.
Yes, and that's when you know that you are driving your plane on the beltway. Then trouble will meet you.
At a very high speed.
Thank you. Trying to fly on the road. Crashes are happening. It will now. But please match this words. We'll start on, it's Monday, Wednesday. All right.
So, Prof, if you do decide to offer AWS, is it going to be online as well, or?
For right now, no class can meet physically because the law does not allow. They don't ask schools to go back, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if we don't know what will happen 1 month down the line. I mean, the thing went up again. That's why everybody stopped what they were doing. My current class that is supposed to start on Monday, my new DB1 class, I have scheduled them for in-class. Because the rate at which we're going, we knew that by now, everything will be clear, but they said not so fast, and that's what I told them. But who's to say 1 month down the line, if the numbers go down and they give us the headway, 1 month down the line will open. But we will always continue online class because we have folks who are not in the area. So even if we are doing it now, it must be streamed online too.
Okay.
Yes, so when we can, we're going to meet. And we hope that's sooner than later. I like the in-class too, but hey, who knows?
So we have talked more about table space and table partition. I don't know if we're gonna do it as a topic.
I didn't hear you.
I said we have been talking about table partitioning. I don't know if we are gonna do it as a topic.
Was it mentioned among those words that I gave you?
No, like I'm saying, like when you were trying to explain like the like index, you made mention of it.
I explained what a partition was, right?
Yes. So I'm asking if we're gonna do it.
I'm not so sure. Why did you not ask me if you're going to do AMM and ASMM? I gave you a list of what? A list of things to go and read, right?
Yes.
where do you think these things came from? Where do they came from?
So mostly from chapter 12 and chapter 13.
Which is what? Performance tuning.
Yeah.
Chapter 12 and chapter 13 basically introduces you. Did you see SQL access, SQL access and all those things which you are seeing now? Eh? Did you see optimizer? So why are you not asking me if we will do optimizer or not? Do you think you'll do it? Do you think you will talk about database statistics? You think you have SQL access, advise us? You think you will talk about indexes? I'm asking you. Will you?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure. You think you talk about partition. So why did I give you all of these things? I took my time to write an email which I said I may even add more. How can I give you a calendar of what you are supposed to do for the next 3 weeks to 4 weeks or the next 3 weeks? And then you pick one out of it and say, are we going to do it? That's why I'm confused with the questions. Because the thing here is that those questions have things that are added to it, but you're not saying what you want to say. That's why
No, sir, I was just curious. I'm cool. I was just curious.
I'm saying, do you think you're going to do SQL profile? Do you think you're going to do SQL baseline? Do you think you're going to do hints? I gave you the list, right?
Yes.
Good. So why don't you wait after this finish and you come back and say, we will not do, why do we not do that? All right, any questions? No questions? All these topics that I've given you, you'll be doing it, and I'm telling you that if you don't do it, you're going to ask for it. I'm finished with you now. If you don't have questions, let me go. Say no questions, and I can leave.
Okay. Good night.
Have a good weekend.
You too. Take care.
Thank you.
I know, sir, man.